Hello everyone and welcome back to Journey with the Kellers. My name is Amanda Keller and today we are back in the Keller kitchen and we are going to be making something from Tasting History cookbook. I love this cookbook because it gives you some really cool things about the history of the stuff that you're making, and some of this is super old and things I would have never have thought to make or have even heard of, to be honest with you. So I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I will try to do the best I can. I'm going to say this is called Tuh'u. It's T-U-H with an apostrophe and then a U. Okay, so this is something that is supposed to be from ancient Babylon. It's over 4,000 years old, so that's pretty cool. All right, so to start this, you're gonna go ahead and start with a big pot, and you're gonna go ahead and add about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into the bottom of this. Yes, I know, I'm not using a measuring spoon. A little bit more, there we go. All right, and you're gonna go ahead and put this on a high heat, is what it says. And once you do that, you're going to take some leg of lamb that you need to cut up into bite-sized pieces, and you're going to add that in here, and you're going to brown the lamb. Okay, just make sure it's brown on all sides. Okay, let me wash my hands real quick. So the interesting thing about this recipe is that even today this would kind of be of an expensive recipe because of the lamb, and lamb is not cheap to buy. But back then it was the same thing, so lamb wasn't cheap to buy then either. They said it cost, what was it, about 1 shekel of silver each. I don't know how much that is, but it must have been a lot for back then. So they think that this was probably something that was served more or less like for parties or events, and that it was only made every once in a while for celebrations. This actually comes from, it's in the Yale Babylonian tablets, so that's pretty cool. And it does state in here that some of the things don't quite translate over, so some of the things they just used what they thought would be best for the recipe, but that it may not be exactly what they used back then for the recipe. Ooh, that's loud. Okay, so basically what it says too is that this was probably used for like one of the festivals to celebrate. It was perhaps used for the Akitu festival that celebrated the prime god Marduk's victory over Tiamat, who is the mother of dragons and the goddess of the primordial sea. Now it says that Marduk used her body parts to create the world. Kind of creepy, ew. And then it says that there was a king back then, which was the Babylonian king, and in order to keep in good spirits with this god, that he had to use what they called a high priest of Marduk's temple, the Asagilia, I don't know. I do apologize if I'm saying these names wrong. Okay, and then, so basically the way that he kept in good graces was that when the god would come, the king would humble himself, or when he would go to Marduk's temple, the king would go to Marduk's temple, he would humble himself by removing his crown and his royal scepter and all of that, and that the Sagalu would grab the king's ear and yank him to his knees, and follow that up with a good hard slap. And it was a very, very hard slap, and it was meant to make the king cry. So if there were no tears from the king, then it was meant that he was basically out of the good graces of the god, and it would be a bad thing. So basically he had to cry from this hard slap that he got in order for people to know that the god still loved him. So that's just totally crazy. I'm a little bit, whew. I don't think I want that. But he did put a funny note in here. So this is Max Miller, the author, that says, so that maybe this should be a tradition that we should reinstate for our political leaders. I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, so our lamb is nice and browned up here. So what you're going to do next is you're going to add in, let's see, oh, you're going to add in 1 large yellow onion. Okay. There you go. And you're just going to stir this and cook it for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook up, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes when it's ready to add the next ingredient. So we'll be right back. All right, you guys, so once the onions have cooked for about 5 minutes, you're going to go ahead and add in its 2 to 3 large red or gold beets to the pan. And you're going to let these cook for about another 5 minutes, but it says to stir them frequently this time. Now it says that the beets should equal about 4 cups when they're chopped up. Mine is not that. Mine were small beets. That's all I could find at the time, so it's not going to have as much beets in it as it's supposed to, but that's okay. We'll deal with what we can deal with. All right, so I'll keep stirring this up, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes to show you what's next. So I'll be right back. All right, so now that the beets have been cooking for about 5 minutes and everything is kind of a nice pinkish color, so your next steps are you're going to add in 1 12-ounce can of sour beer. This is a wild sour dragon fruit mango. Okay. Go ahead and add that in. Then you're also going to add in 2 cups of arugula, of chopped arugula. Okay. Then you're going to add 3/4 of a cup of fresh chopped cilantro. And then 1 chopped Persian shallot. Now remember, Persian shallots a lot of times come dehydrated. So if you take it and stick it in a bowl of water for about 30 minutes, then it should rehydrate. Okay, then you're also going to add in 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. And about 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. Oops, put that lid back on there. So 1.5. Perfect. All right, now you're gonna go ahead and stir this on up. You're going to bring that to a boil, okay? So we'll be back in just a few minutes as soon as that starts boiling up. Okay, so once that gets to boiling, you're going to go ahead and take 3 garlic cloves and smash them up until they make a nice little paste. And then you're going to mix that in with 1 large chopped leek. And then add that into the pan, okay? Okay, stir that up. Okay, so you're gonna then lower the heat to medium, and you're gonna let this simmer for about 60 to 90 minutes. Let's see, does it tell you how to know? Oh, until the beets and the meat are cooked to your liking. Now, while you're doing this too, you want to keep an eye on it and keep about 2 cups of cold water with you. Does it matter if it's cold? I guess I should look that. It just says add water. So keep about 2 cups of cold water and add water to the pot as the stuff starts to evaporate. And then that way, you'll have more liquid in there. It says you may not use the whole 2 cups of water, but it's there for if you need it. So just keep an eye on it over the next hour or so. Add water as you need to, and then it'll be ready. So we'll be back as soon as that's ready. See you in a little bit. right, you guys, so our stew is nice and done now, and so we're just gonna give it a little bit of a try and see how it tastes. Let you guys see it here real quick. It actually, to me, didn't make as much as it said it is. Maybe it was because I didn't have the amount of beets, but it looks pretty good. And I had to end up adding more than the 2 cups of water that it suggested you had, so I don't know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and try this and see how it tastes. Get a little bit of beet and a little bit of lamb on there. And my beet just went flying off the spoon. All right, let's try that again. Here we go. I don't want it to burn my mouth. Okay. The lamb is not chewy, it's nice and moist. And the beets, I actually usually don't like beets because to me they kind of don't really have a taste. But with all the spices and stuff mixed in there, it's actually really good. I can make that. I wish I had some bread to dip in this because a piece of bread dipped in that juice would be really good too. Okay, you guys, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you like, or don't if you don't want to, whichever way. Hope you guys enjoy your day. Happy cooking, and we'll see you later. Bye.